What's up guys, it's Poir and welcome to my combo guide for Bo in Monster Hunter Wilds. What was once mostly the strongest weapon in the previous games, now probably is still one of the strongest weapons, but it requires way more effort on your part. If I'm honest, Bo is kinda clunkier to play now, but mainly due to needing more buttons than your typical dodge, dancing, power shot rotation that was just basically 2 to 3 buttons, right? Now you're gonna need to press 4 to 5 constantly. But once you do settle in, it is the same fun Bo has always been, now with the lock-on mode, so you don't even have to aim half the time. So hopefully this guide helps you out, and if it does, leave a like on the video to help me out, and I also have a longsword guide if you're interested. Controls mentioned will be via the PlayStation controller, but I'll name the attack so you can still follow along if you're using something else. For those new to Bo, there's 3 base charge levels that increase by holding R2 to charge, or by tapping R2 to shoot. And each charge level basically shoots an extra arrow. So level 1 will be 1 arrow, 2, 2 arrows, 3, 3 arrows. Simple mathematics. But if you press circle, you will do a quick shot, and then to a power shot, and then to a power volley. But when charging, you can skip the quick shot for the power and volley only, which can also be fired after using an R2. And for power shot at level 3, the one you use the most, it's gonna shoot 5 arrows, and volley is gonna be 6. So the goal is to get to that level 3 and stay in that level 3, which is possible via dodging while aiming, called a charging dodge. So you get to level 3, shoot, then dodge, shoot, then dodge, etc. This is why stamina is the most important for Bo, since it equates to how much you can shoot. So far, this is typical Bo gameplay, right? In Wilds, however, there are 2 factors that kinda mess this flow up. The first is coatings. These apply special bonuses to your arrows like status effects or increasing the damage, and you can change coatings with the bow out by holding L1 and using triangle and X to cycle through the list.
Once you have the coating you want to use, let go of L1 and simply press triangle to equip it.
They are no longer an item that you have in your inventory or craft when it runs out, but instead now infinite, but are limited by a charge gauge. Equipping 8 coatings nearly costs as much as one of those 3 sections, and this gauge is refilled by attacking or simply holding charge, which gives you gauge back. The other way to get gauge is via perfect dodging, by hitting the dodge button while aiming, which if done during a monster's attack or roar, will iframe the attack, notable by the blue visual and sound effect that goes off, that gives you a ton of stamina back, and if you perfectly do it, will restore your coating gauge as well. So you kinda wanna iframe as much as possible for infinite stamina and coatings. But you're kinda still limited by the amount of coatings applied, in this case 8. So after 8 shots, you're gonna have to reapply it, which stops your dodge dance flow. Hopefully the full game has armor skills or bow-based coating amounts, but as of now, you have to reapply it a lot as 8 goes by very quickly. The other major addition that requires more button presses is the Tracer Arrow. These will also eat up your gauge by 1 chunk, and to do it, you will have to hold R2 and then press square. It took some time getting used to this for me since I would instinctively hold L2 to aim, and then I would press square for the tracer, but that just puts away your weapon, so you have to hold R2. Anyways, what this arrow does is 2-fold, actually probably like 10-fold, but first, it makes all your arrows auto-lock on to the spot that you hit. So you put in the tracer, and then you turn your camera like 80 to 90 degrees away, and those arrows will turn midair and hit the target still. It's freaking crazy. It also increases your shot distance, so you can be further back than usual. When aiming, if your reticle is orange like this, it means you're in critical range, the best range. But when you're too far or too close and the reticle is like this, your damage will fall off. Charging to level 3 can increase the distance, and now Tracer will increase it further. This will be enough to be useful, right? But no, Capcom, no, that's not enough. How about nearly doubling your damage, going from 10 with power coatings to 19 per hit? And even if you're not charged, you will shoot the maximum amount of arrows at level 1. What?
What the fuck?
This also affects your other attacks like the 1000 Dragons via triangle plus circle while holding R2, going from 18 per hit to 25 per hit. And on top of all that, the Tracer explodes at the end for extra damage. In other words, you have to be using Tracer. It is mandatory. And the Tracer only lasts 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, you have to keep this arrow up. And that's if you don't prematurely explode it via Thousand Dragons or Dragon Piercer. Which, by the way, the Tracer also combos with the new Focus Strike Hellstorm attack. By holding L2 and then holding R1, you will lock onto the Tracer, which brings up new special reticles that have 3 points that light up the longer you hold it, and for each point you will get an extra arrow upon release. And Hellstorm further combos with the new Arc Shot via holding R2 and hitting circle. That bombards the monster in an AoE with special arrows depending on the charge level of the Arc Shot, which can give you multiple reticles with Hellstorm to unleash for a ton of damage by making those arrows explode. So again, we go from basically a 2 to 3 button playstyle to constantly upkeeping these Tracer arrows and power coatings. Not saying it's annoying, but it is more to do. Aside from that though, the other new move is the Flying Swallow, which after a charging step, you will hit triangle, and you'll do a little jump and shoot 4 arrows at level 3 charge. But it does end your charge level, so be careful there. And lastly, you have Dragon Piercer, classic. Hitting triangle plus circle while aiming will charge it up and release it, and you can also do a quick Dragon Piercer after your basic charge R2 normal attack, for a quicker version that does less damage. This, like the Thousand Dragons, also explodes Tracers, and typically you only want to use this against monsters that are long or have good body or wing or tail hit zones to see orange numbers. Otherwise, it's not that useful. However, if you use Hellstorm against a wound, you will automatically do a Dragon Piercer at the end for a lot of damage. That part's really cool. So that is Bow in Wilds. Before moving on to combos, I do want to mention Focus Mode. If you want, you can make it so it's a toggle instead of having to hold it via the options. For me, it's just less buttons to press and hold, and you're never really not going to aim anyways, right? So you might as well toggle it. And if you want to put away your weapon, you just press square without holding R2 and you're good to go. So combos, let's begin.
Combo 1.
Combo 1 is your main bread and butter, but you have to prep with using your coating and then using a Tracer on a weak point on the monster. But make sure it's on a weak point where you can see orange numbers, and then you commence this combo. So start attacking with R2, 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 and then press circle for the power shot. Then dodge R2 circle, dodge R2 circle, and repeat. Do that till your Tracer or coatings run out, and well, it's time to reapply the Tracer. Yippee! You can also throw in Thousand Dragons at the end before resetting, but I'm not sure how optimal that is. It is worth noting for people that played Monster Hunter Rise, Bow still has the animation cancel shortened thing with Power Shot. So after R2, if you quickly press circle, it vastly speeds up the animation.
Combo 2.
Combo 2 is basically never used in speedrunning because it's not optimal, but for normal people, it likely will be during opportune moments where the monster is knocked down, for example, or when it has wounds, which is the Arc Shot combo. Prep with Tracer, you're going to prep with coating, then hit R2 plus circle for the Arc Shot, charge to full on release so you get the max amount of arrows, and then dodge and proceed with combo 1. Towards the end or before the Tracer explodes, use Hellstorm via L2 plus R1, charge till all the reticles are lit up, release, and hopefully there's a wound as well to finish with Dragon Piercer for a lot of explosions. So very fun, but again, not too optimal.
Combo 3.
And with combo 3, if you don't want to be dodging too much, let's say in multiplayer, kind of a waste of stamina, right? Since Tracer Arrow does max out your arrows anyways, regardless of charge, you might as well just spam R2, 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 circle, R2, 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 circle, etc. You're going to waste more coatings, but you do save some stamina from not dodging. It's more beginner friendly, and since you have a bit more stamina, you can hopefully have enough stamina to perfect dodge if you need to. And lastly, since it's not too obvious, the way to mount a monster is only via jump attacks from ledges or cliffs, or let's say from your sacred. So you're rarely ever going to get mounts now. Not that mounting is optimal anymore, but yeah, that's how you mount. And I guess it's also worth noting that for certain monsters like Raidao, and I guess Chatacabra I've seen, after some attacks, they'll have a glowing part on their body, usually their face, which if you use Hellstorm quickly at level 1 charge even, that'll stun the monster and then lead to a Dragon Piercer usually that will knock them down for free, even if it's not technically a wound. So yeah, pretty cool. Also for the beta at least, you want to get Stamina Surge level 3 on your armor via Balahara chest, Chatacabra gloves, and Hope waist. That'll increase your stamina recovery by 50%. And yeah, that is my combo guide for Bow. Bow is one of the few weapons getting sub 5-minute kill times on Raidao, So yeah, bow's still strong. Once you get used to the controls, it should be smooth sailing from there. So leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and comment down below your thoughts on bow. Do you like the new additions or changes? Do you think the over-reliance on Tracer is good, bad, and how about the new coding system? Let me know, and as always, subscribe for more Wilds epicness.